All right, let's dive right into one of my favorite topics, the hidden forces that make all of us, even the absolute smartest people, do some, well, truly baffling things. Seriously, by the end of this, I promise you'll feel like you have X-ray vision for human behavior.
I mean, you've seen this, right? You know someone who is just brilliant, gets straight A's, top of their class, but then they do something that just makes you scratch your head and go, wait, why? It's one of those great little mysteries of life, isn't it? Okay, so let's meet Jaden. This kid is an A student, top of his class in math, probably a genius at video games, but he keeps getting sent to the principal's office for shouting out random stuff like his pet dragon lives in the mitochondria. I mean, he's clearly not dumb, so what on earth is going on here?
Well, to solve this little mystery, we're going to borrow a framework from the legendary Charlie Munger, Warren Buffett's brilliant partner. Munger basically said that if you want to understand why people do anything, you only need to look for two things, the incentives and the psychological biases. These are two big clues. So let's just lay this out real simple. On one hand, you've got incentives. Think of these as the invisible carrots and sticks that are always guiding our actions. And on the other hand, you've got these psychological biases, which are basically like buggy software that comes pre-installed in everyone's brain. And trust me, when these two things work together, they explain a lot.
All right, let's start with clue number one. We're going to follow the trail of incentives. So, what exactly is an incentive? Well, the best way to think about it is like a secret calculator in your brain. It's always running in the background, constantly weighing the pros and cons, and asking this one single fundamental question: what's in it for me? It's all about the reward you're trying to get or the punishment you're trying to avoid. And this explains Jaden perfectly. Look, the punishment is detention, okay? Sure. But what's the reward? The entire class erupts in laughter. He gets this massive rush of attention. He feels like a legend. Suddenly, his social status skyrockets. And let's be real, in the middle school jungle, that reward is so much more powerful than the punishment. Mystery solved. Okay, but incentives aren't the whole story. Not even close. It's time to dig into our second clue, finding those bugs in our brain's software. Let's start with a big one, social proof. You already know this one, you feel it all the time. It's that powerful, deep-seated urge to just follow the crowd. When we see a bunch of other people doing something, this little switch flips in our brain that says, I guess that must be the right thing to do, even if on the surface it seems completely nuts. Need a perfect example? How about the great slime craze of 2017? That was social proof on steroids. One kid starts making it, posts a video, and suddenly it feels like every kid on the planet is buying up glue and borax. I mean, sales for borax, which is a laundry booster, went up 400%. That's the insane power of social proof. Okay, next brain bug. This one is huge. It's called reward super response tendency. And here's the deal. Our brains are incredibly impatient. We are just hardwired to want a small reward right now, way more than we want a bigger, better reward later. It's like your brain is screaming, forget tomorrow, I want the cookie and I want it now. And this explains so much. Have you ever stayed up until like 3 in the morning grinding a video game, even though you knew you had to be up early and were going to be a zombie the next day? Yep, that's this bias. That instant reward of leveling up or finding some new loot just feels so much better in the moment than the delayed, kind of boring reward of being well-rested. So, we've got incentives on one side, and we've got these brain bugs on the other. But what happens when they all smash together at the exact same time? Well, this is where things get really crazy. Charlie Munger had this fantastic name for it, the Lollapalooza effect. It's when a few of these forces combine to create an absolute perfect storm of irrational behavior. Let's use the infamous Tide Pod challenge as our case study. So, first, what's the incentive? Easy. Internet fame, millions of views. Then you layer on the brain bugs. Social proof? Check. All the cool YouTubers are doing it. Reward super response? Double check. You get that instant dopamine rush from the likes and comments pouring in. You see how it works? All those forces hit at once, you get a Lollapalooza, and suddenly smart people are biting into pods of laundry detergent. And this was not a one-off thing. Remember the devious licks trend on TikTok back in 2021? I mean, students were literally ripping sinks and soap dispensers out of school bathrooms for viral fame. It was another textbook Lollapalooza effect. And the real world cost of a trend like that? It's staggering. We're talking estimates of over $100,000 in damages. So this stuff isn't just harmless fun, right? These Lollapalooza effects can have huge real-world consequences. Okay, so I know this might all sound a little bit bleak, like we're just puppets being controlled by these invisible forces. But here is the good news, the best part, really. Just by learning about them, you gain a kind of superpower. Let's call it Munger vision. Because here's the thing, the antidote is just awareness. The moment you can see and name the incentive that's pulling you, or the brain bug that's trying to trick you, it's like a spell is broken. You're no longer on autopilot. You can actually step back and make a conscious choice. So I'm going to give you a little mission. For the next 3 days, I want you to be a detective of human behavior. Whenever you see someone, or hey, even yourself, do something that seems just a little bit off, I want you to pause and ask, okay, what was the incentive there? And then, which of those brain bugs might be at play? Just see if you can spot a mini Lollapalooza out there in the wild. Because that's the real goal here, right? Once you can see the invisible strings of incentives and biases, they stop pulling you around. You stop being the puppet and you start becoming the puppeteer. So now that you basically have X-ray vision for human behavior, I'll leave you with one final question. What's the first hidden force you're going to spot? Because I'll tell you what, once you start looking, you're going to see them absolutely everywhere.